If anybody thought that the DEI stuff was actually over, I mean, come on. Yesterday I covered the Take Us North game, the literal game that is about you being a coyote and bringing illegals across the border. So there's that, and that was something that Microsoft backed. And today we have another different story from a few days ago that Microsoft funded another racist that used to be from Sweet Baby Inc. Of course they did, because why the fuck wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they do the same shit? Same shit, different day kind of thing, right? It's not like, I don't know, it's not like it makes any actual sense, but hey, whatever. Let's see what Jonathan Trent here has to say about this one, huh?
The woke disease in the video game industry has not gone away at all. It is.
Yeah, I hate when I know woke is a kind of become a colloquial term, right? We all know what woke means. But I really wish sometimes they'd probably maybe use a different word or two for that. Just because the idea that using the same word woke doesn't really matter anymore. I think it's the same too, right? With being called a racist or a Nazi or any other thing like that. People that are in my position that lean shit, I don't even lean like far right. I lean like 2 steps to the right of center, right? Just my position, and normal people, we get called Nazi and racist or ists and phobes or whatever the deal is all the time. It doesn't matter anymore. And I think the word woke has hit that level of use. I think it's used so much that it doesn't really matter anymore. And of course, you can get people who go, well, what does woke mean? Motherfucker, you know exactly what it means in modern terms. We're not talking about the 1960s where woke used to mean a black person is finally waking up to see how bad their life was. Which, strangely enough, their life might have been better in the 60s than now. Which is kind of fucked up if you think about it, right?
Still very present, and we've just discovered that Microsoft and Xbox actually funded admitted racist and former Sweet Baby Inc. employee Danny Lalanders and her Validate game. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link.
Oh yeah, this is the lady, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to find it now, but the lady that came out on one of the recorded videos that wasn't supposed to get out to anybody normal, that she would never hire white people because it made everybody in the office feel uncomfortable or whatever. Something like that, I think.
In the description below. If you don't remember Lalanders, she came to public attention after she attempted to defend her former employer, Sweet Baby Inc., back in March 2024 and accused gamers of discrimination. Lalanders wrote on March 7th, I just stopped taking y'all seriously when y'all start running around saying white people can experience racism because I did not suffer through 2020 for y'all to act like you weren't an ally to BLM 4 years later.
Because I was never an ally to BLM. I was never an ally to a fake narrative. I will never be an ally to fake narrative. I will never be an ally to people who claim that the guy was murdered when he died of an OD. I will never be an ally to somebody or a group that destroys their own city and blames me for my skin color. Weird how that works, right? Just like I will never be an ally to a white person who says that you're bad because you're black. See how that works there? That's called not being a racist. You make decision because people are white. That makes Lola Landers, or however the fuck you say her name, a racist. Ooh, I know, that's weird how that works, huh?
posting that tired screenshot of the Google definition of racism. I just don't care anymore. She then admitted to being a racist in response to Riley Man 1080. Riley Man 1080 wrote this, haha, so being appropriately called racist is tiresome, huh? You could try not being racist. And Lalanders responded saying, yeah, I'm racist, so what now? She then later said, if you believe you can be racist towards white people, that makes you racist. She says this, if you think you can be racist to white people, you literally are. It was then discovered that Lalanders admitted.
Wait. So let me see if I have this right in my head, okay? So she says, if you think you can be racist toward white people, you're racist. Okay. So I imagine, and I don't know her personally, obviously, and I don't have the ability to ask her this question, and I really don't think I give a flying horse fucker what her answer is, but I'm going to assume, I'm going to make the assumption, I'm going to jump here and just use my brain and say, she probably thinks that you can be racist toward black people, right? So does that not make her a racist too?
To discriminating against white people while hiring for her game Validate. This follows the 3 laws of the SJW that Vox Day has put out that I've cited in a number of videos in the past, right? The third one being they always project, right? SJWs lie, they double.
Yeah, they project like fucking crazy.
Down and they project, and that's exactly what we saw here. Lalander's accusing gamers of discriminating, and then she admits that she's a racist, and then we find out that she's the one who was actually discriminating for her game, and she admitted this in a presentation for the Game Devs of Color Expo 2021. She said this, Validate has a team of all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for the environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. So she clearly chose not to have any white people on her team and announced that she did that on purpose. She discriminated against them. She went on and said, and I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. That's literally what she was saying. I'm saying sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something may be okay, but it was really a microaggression, and no one wants to deal with that while you're trying to make a game.
Yes, more of the, everything you do that I don't like is a microaggression. You know, like, I imagine some white lady said, oh my God, I love your hair. To her, that would be a microaggression. But it was meant to be a compliment. I'm sure that's probably where she's thinking of. Or, oh my God, your makeup looks really great. Microaggression. Or, God forbid, heaven forbid, you be a white man and say, wow, you look very nice today. Simple, innocuous, and non-threatening. I'm sure that's probably a microaggression, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I should be clear. If it comes from the white man, it is just full racism.
That they love. After this presentation was clipped and shared to social media by libs of TikTok, Lalanders responded by claiming she did not discriminate against white people. She said this, okay, let's address this. In this video, I very clearly stated that the team for Validate is mostly people of color because I wanted to have a team of people who reflected on the game we were working on. If you played Validate, you understand why this was important. That is literally not what she said. Remember, she said Validate has a team of all people of color. We have no white people on our team. So she's clearly now trying to walk back what she said. She's lying. As noted in the video, I just kind of went over that again. She said this, Validate has a team of all people of color. We have no white people on our team, which would seem to contradict herself within a few sentences.
Which, wouldn't that be against, I don't know, federal hiring practices because she deciding to hire or not hire somebody based on the color of their skin?
She continued saying this video is a bit outdated, recorded in the summer of 2021. Validate was released in September of 2022. From when this video was recorded to release, we had a few white developers join our team to help us with some music and audio needs. Nowhere in this video did I say we don't hire white people or that I hate white people. I very clearly said we wanted to have a team that reflected the values of the game we were making. As a lead, you pick the best people possible for the job. She then asserted, in this case, the best people for the job were the people who understood the kind of game we were making, developers working on a game full of queer characters who understand the importance of queerness in games that is realistic and respectful towards queer people.
Respectful towards queer people. So is she saying, right, or what, sorry, was she saying that the only people who can be queer are black? That's kind of what it sounds like. I'm pretty sure I'm just taking that out of context, right?
However, as noted in the video, Lalanders made it very clear she made a conscious decision to exclude white people. Remember, she said, we have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for the environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. Nevertheless, she continued saying,
yes, because who wants diversity? You know, they always scream diversity, diversity this, diversity that, inclusion and acceptance this, inclusion and acceptance that, unless you're white, of course.
In the latter half of the video, I spoke about microaggressions in the workplace. If you're a person of color, you understand precisely what I meant. That being said, I'm very well aware that white people are not the only ones who can commit microaggressions in the workplace. Microaggressions can be committed by anyone towards anyone else in the workplace. But in the context of what I was talking about, I had fears of certain treatment towards my marginalized workers in the workplace. I wanted my team to feel safe while working on Validate. So clearly, again, just kind of doubling down on why she was discriminating against white people. Now it's been discovered that Validate was funded by Microsoft and Xbox through its ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program. In an article on Xbox Wire from March 2023, head of the Developer Acceleration Program, James Lewis, announced this. In 2019, we saw an opportunity to bring more games to Xbox from underrepresented creators. The team took action by carving out funding to ensure that new developers with diverse perspectives and unique content had the resources needed to bring their games to Xbox. More specifically, we offered non-recoupable funding to help teams offset the cost of porting their games. This effort has since helped 100 emerging independent developers offset the cost of bringing their games to players on Xbox, allowing players to enjoy titles like Onsen Master Validate, that is the game that Daniel Lalanders was working on and made, and then Paper Ghost Stories 7 p.m. Lewis went on to announce the types of individuals the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program was made to support. He said this: the types of developers that we seek to support includes, but is not limited to, developers who are led by those from Black, Indigenous, Latino, or LGBTQIA+ communities, women, developers with disabilities, developers from emerging markets, or teams with unique perspectives. This also includes independent developers working on a game that responsibly centers the experience around diverse characters or that prioritizes accessibility. So this whole...
Yes, your game must be DEI. If your game is not DEI, well, then we don't want it. I don't fucking know.
Program is literally made to push woke ideology, fund woke games, and I think at this point, it's to fund discrimination against white people. And this is what Microsoft is engaging in. This is what Microsoft is pushing. This is what Microsoft is funding. In a YouTube video uploaded in March of this year, just a couple of months ago, the company provided more details on the program, saying the Developer Acceleration Program empowers underrepresented creators to bring amazing games to Xbox players around the world. Since 2019, we have heard from hundreds of global teams seeking resources and support to reach the global audience on Xbox. DAP supports developers. So
shortly saying, hey, we don't have enough talent to release this game on our own, even though nowadays, and even in 2019, you could make a game and release it on Steam and only pay a percentage of what you actually make on the game and pretty much do it for the love of the game, literally. But this isn't for the love of the game for these people. This is just pushing leftist retard ideology, and it's nothing more than that.
In three primary.
And then when these games come out and they fail, because they always do, what is blamed? Is it blamed that the game had, I don't know, poor gameplay or was glitchy or didn't look very good? No. What's blamed is, of course, the gamers, because the gamers tend to be men, And men don't want this shit. And I mean actual men, not fucking California Prancy Dancies. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works, huh? Ooh, and if you're a white man, well, you get especially blamed because you didn't buy this horse shit.
Ways. We provide funding to offset the cost of porting games to Xbox, so teams with limited resources do not have to decide between polish, marketing, and Xbox development. We provide access to relevant information via webinars and events to help level the playing field for Xbox developers of all experience levels. And we incubate new ideas to ensure that barriers to funding, resources, and networks don't block talented developers with great ideas. We forged more than 200 partnerships and supported the launch of over 75 titles through the program so far. We've seen some of the most innovative and inclusive content reach global players on Xbox as a result. So this is what Microsoft and Xbox are doing. It is a totally degenerate company that is obviously funding, pushing woke ideology throughout. And this is a specific program that they obviously have. I think the federal government should obviously get involved. I think they should launch an investigation. I think it's very clear that Xbox is clearly guilty of discrimination at this point from everything I'm seeing here. And so it should be a pretty easy.
Yes, of course. Well, this has been Xbox's trajectory for fucking years, right? Instead of actually, I don't know, making good games like they used to back in the day, or fuck, making any goddamn games now would be good. You know, anything that's actually a game and not a push at fucking ideology would be awesome. But Xbox doesn't do that anymore. PlayStation's not much fucking better, and fucking Nintendo is one of the worst fucking companies when it comes to their customers. They just expect you to go, oh, I'll buy whatever Nintendo has, ha ha ha, and you fucking do it. So, I don't know. I think this just shows that Xbox is still the same Xbox it was 5 years ago. Nothing has changed. Nothing is going to change until people just stop completely supporting these big fucking companies like Xbox and Nintendo and shit. Nothing will change at all. But people aren't willing to do that. People have to have their shiny toys. So Xbox is still going to have money behind it because it has Microsoft to back it. PlayStation is still going to have Sony to back it. Nintendo is pretty much has cash on hand all the time because they were actually fairly smart in some of their business decisions. But Nintendo is a whole different video for me. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think Xbox is actually ever going to, I don't know, make a change? Do you think that the DEI-driven games are the last bastion of this bullshit for a while? I hope so.